I'm leading, I'm leading. I'm leading, I'm leading. Hey. I'm leading, I'm leading. I'm leading, I'm leading. Hey.
What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. This is week 4. We're going to be prepping week 4 and talking about what happened in week 3. Glad to have you guys back listening to another episode. I am your host, Alex Leak. It's just me this week, talking football. So let's get down to it. A lot of good stuff went down. Some good stuff, some not good, some not so good stuff, but a great week of football. Let's start with Thursday night, when the Jets went to Cleveland to play the Browns at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. The Browns get their first win in over a year, since 2016. The Browns get a win against the Jets, 21-17. It started a little shaky, especially on offense with Tyrod Taylor. He started. He went 4 of 14 for 19 yards passing, 22 yards rushing, before leaving the game late in the second quarter with an injury. He's in concussion protocol now. So Baker Mayfield came into the game. The Browns were down 14-0 at the time, and he quickly led them down for a field goal right before the half, and then led the way in a Browns comeback. Baker Mayfield goes 17 of 23 for 201 yards, and Mayfield also caught the 2-point conversion pass from Jarvis Landry, so showing that he's a multi-dimensional skilled player. The Jets rookie Sam Darnold goes 15 of 31 for 169 yards. 2 late interceptions make his stat line look worse than it was. So Baker wins round 1 of the Baker versus Darnold matchup. We were talking about these two at the draft. A lot of people, including all of us on this podcast, said that Darnold should go number 1 overall. He was the safest bet. And this game really surprised me that Baker came in and was able to deliver the win. I gotta say, Baker impressed me. As critical as I was of the Browns making that decision to draft him number 1 overall, he looked more so, he looked good, but more so than his skill, his leadership really stood out. And he delivered a spark to that offense. He was not scared. He came in, rifling the ball around, and the team seemed to rally around Baker Mayfield. So, good start to Baker Mayfield's career, and we'll see how he does going forward. He should be the starter week 4. Other notable performances in this game: Browns running back Carlos Hyde rushes 23 times for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good game for him. Ex-Brown, now Jets running back Isaiah Crowell, 16 carries, 34 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry was on point, 8 catches, 103 yards. Sam Darnold's made it very clear that his favorite receiver so far is Quincy Enunwa. Catches 4 for 57 yards, led the Jets in receiving. And the Browns, we all know about their kicker issues. Their undrafted, newly acquired kicker Greg Joseph goes 2 for 2 on field goals, 1 for 1 on extra points. So great start for him. Jets linebacker Avery Williamson was a star on defense, records 8 tackles and 2 sacks. And Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, 3 tackles and 2 sacks. Myles Garrett looks good. He looks like a stud over there for Cleveland. So a big win for the Browns. Good to see him get it. And the Jets will look to rebound in week 4 at Jacksonville. A tough game for them. So we'll see what the Browns do going forward with Baker Mayfield. A new era in Cleveland has kicked off. Let's go to Sunday. Saints at Falcons. Whenever the Saints play the Falcons, you know it's going to be good football, especially when it's Matt Ryan versus Drew Brees. And these guys were on it. Clutch Drew Brees led the Saints, road overtime win in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 43-37. The Saints got the win. Brees was 39 of 49 for 396 yards and 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing. Impressive performance by Brees, including that nice little spin move at the goal line. He does a spin move, 2 defenders fall off him, and then he runs it in. Brees showing pretty good athleticism for how old he is on that play. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan, 26 of 35, 374 yards, 5 touchdowns. Impressive game out of him. Saints running back Alvin Kamara combines for 190 yards, including 15 catches. Saints very much getting him involved in that offense. Falcons rookie wide receiver Calvin Ridley has his breakout game of his NFL career. 7 catches, 146 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dude is a future star. Looked great in this game. Not to be outdone, Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas, 10 catches, 129 yards. Saints on the defensive side of the ball, Cam Jordan records 4 tackles and 2 sacks. And the Falcons will look to bounce back week 4 at home against the Bengals. Bengals are 2-1. Big win for the Saints. Nice to see them get it done on the road. That's, kudos to the Saints. That's a big win early in the season. Big division win. Let's go to Packers at Redskins. 1-1 Packers now. 2-1 Redskins. The Redskins take care of the Packers. 31-17 in FedEx Field. Redskins quarterback Alex Smith goes 12 of 20 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Packers Aaron Rodgers goes 27 of 44, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big game from Redskins veteran running back Adrian Peterson. 19 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's used to going up against that Packer defense and having a good day, so he continues to do that. Packers wide receiver Devontae Adams catches 7 for 52 yards and a touchdown. Redskins defensive end Jonathan Allen, former Alabama player, records 3 tackles and 2 sacks. And you can't talk about this game without mentioning Clay Matthews registering a hard sack on Alex Smith, but it's flagged for unnecessary roughness. This shit's gotta stop. Horrible call. They keep calling it on Clay Matthews, but there was a few of these throughout the week. Just horrible, awful, bad calls. I will never understand the whole body weight penalty. I will not understand it, and this thing needs to get changed as soon as possible because it's hurting the product on the field. It's hurting the game. I don't like it. I did like the Redskins getting a nice win at home, improving to 2-1. Maybe they're better than I anticipated. I did not think they were going to be a good team, but a nice big win here. And the Packers fall to 1-1 and will look to get back to their winning ways. Week 4 at home against the Bills should be a relatively easy game. Although if you saw the Bills play this week, who knows? Let's go to Colts at Eagles. The Eagles hang on to win a hard-fought game in Lincoln Financial Field over the Colts 20-16. Philly quarterback Carson Wentz returns his first game back since tearing his ACL last season. Goes 25 of 37 for 255 yards, a touchdown and 2 turnovers, but most importantly the W. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck goes 25 of 40, 164 yards and a touchdown. Eagles running back Wendell Smallwood combines for 91 yards and a touchdown, getting involved out there. Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton leads the team in receiving, 5 catches for 50 yards. Colts rookie linebacker Darius Leonard, 9 tackles and 2 sacks. He's been impressing so far this year. That was a good draft pick for the Colts. Colts will look to right the ship. They're out to a 1-2 start. Big divisional game coming up in Week 4 against the Texans. So we'll see what the Colts do there if they can handle their biz. What looked like an easy game here. The 1-2 Bills are now 1-2. They went into Minnesota, and rookie quarterback Josh Allen goes 15 of 22 for 196 yards and a touchdown. And the Bills blew out the Vikings in this one. Just incredible. I did not see this coming. Allen, 196 yards and a touchdown, including 10 rushes for 39 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns for Josh Allen. I don't think we talked too much about his athleticism, his ability to escape the pocket, his quick feet. So Josh Allen delivering the Bills' first win of the year, blowing out the Vikings at home. Kirk Cousins goes 40 of 55, 296 yards, a touchdown, and 3 turnovers. 1 pick, 2 fumbles. A sloppy game for the Vikings. Chris Ivory, the Bills running back, combines for 126 yards. Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen, 14 catches for 105 yards. So the Vikings fall to 1-1-1, and will look to bounce back week 4 at the Rams. That's tomorrow night. Big game. That'll be a must-watch at the 3-0 Rams. So we'll see what that looks like. That could be a NFC Championship preview right there. The Raiders at the Dolphins. Winless Raiders at the undefeated Dolphins. The Dolphins keep the Raiders winless, winning 28-20 in Hard Rock Stadium. Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill goes 17 of 23 for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, 27 of 39, 345 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Dolphins wide receiver Jakeem Grant, 2 catches for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Raiders Jordy Nelson has a big game, 6 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. Dolphins corner Xavier Howard, know that name, Xavier Howard, Dolphins corner. He's coming up. He's a future star. He might already be a star. 2 interceptions in this game. Don't throw at Xavier Howard unless you want to get intercepted. This dude is balling out. So Dolphins improved to 3-0. I keep picking against the Dolphins every week, and they continue to win. I thought this was the game the Raiders would finally get a win. Did not happen. Raiders will try to turn things around. Week 4 at home against the Browns. That's a very winnable game, so you'd like to see the Raiders get off the schneid there. Dolphins 3-0, man. I think it's got to stop eventually. I don't think they're that great, but solid start to the year for the Dolphins. Broncos at Ravens. The Ravens take care of business here at M&T Bank Stadium, beating the Broncos 27-14. Big win for the Ravens. Big bounce back game for Joe Flacco. 25 of 40, 277 yards and a touchdown. Case Keenum goes 22 of 34, 192 yards and a pick. Ravens running back Alex Collins, 18 rushes, 68 yards and a touchdown. Broncos rookie running back Royce Freeman, 13 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. Ravens wide receiver John Brown, 5 catches for 86 yards. Broncos leading receiver was Demaryius Thomas, 5 catches for 63 yards. And Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs, 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. Big win for the Ravens. That's the first loss for the Broncos. Denver will look to get back on the winning side. Week 4 on Monday night versus the Chiefs. That'll be a big game. Big division rivalry game there in Mile High. I'm looking forward to that one. Let's go to Bengals at Panthers. Panthers take care of business at Bank of America Stadium, defeating the Bengals 31-21. Cam Newton combines for 186 yards and 4 touchdowns, 2 passing, 2 rushing. Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton, 29 of 46, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. Sloppy game from Dalton, and that'll get anybody beat when you throw 4 picks. Christian McCaffrey, the Panthers running back, 28 carries for 184 yards. Big game out of him. Future star if he isn't already. He was a star at Stanford, an unbelievable player. Comes from a good pedigree. His dad, most of you know him, Ed McCaffrey, was a Broncos receiver when they won their 2 Super Bowls with John Elway and Terrell Davis. So Christian McCaffrey getting it done. Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd, 6 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Panthers wide receiver Devin Funchess catches 4 for 67 and a touchdown. Look out for future star here, Panthers rookie corner Dante Action Jackson. Registers 7 tackles and 2 interceptions. This dude out of LSU, he is a ball hawk, and look out for him in the future. We'll be saying his name a lot this season on the podcast. Bengals fall to 2-1, their first loss of the year, and will look to bounce back in Week 4 at Atlanta. That'll be a tough game for them. Giants at Texans. The Giants get their first win of the season at NRG Stadium, 27-22. Eli Manning was on point, 25 of 29, 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is what happens when Eli Manning's on his game. He's not always on it, but they gave him a little bit of time and he made some plays. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, 24 of 40 for 385 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Giants rookie running back Saquon Barkley combines for 117 yards and a touchdown. Texans wide receiver Will Fuller, 5 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. Giants star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., 9 catches, 109 yards. And I was tweeting about this guy, Houston star defensive end J.J. Watt, 4 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. Dude is a beast, but the Giants were able to overcome J.J. Watt and get the road win. Impressive win for the Giants. Shows what they're capable of when they're on their game. Texans still winless, 0-3. They'll look to get their first win in Week 4 on Sunday at the 1-2 Colts. Big division game there, so Texans need that. The Titans, always a good game when you got Titans-Jags here. Titans at the Jags. Titans kick their way past Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Stadium 9-6. Not a great game to watch here. Sloppy, low scoring. Marcus Mariota combines for 151 yards. Blake Bortles, 21 of 34, 155 yards. Derrick Henry for the Titans, 18 carries for 57 yards. Jags running back TJ Yeldon combines for 90 yards. Decent game out of Jags defensive tackle Calais Campbell, 5 tackles and 2 sacks. And the Jags were previously unbeaten, so the Titans got them here. Jags will look to bounce back Week 4 at home versus the Jets. Big road win in the division for the Titans here. You got to take advantage of it. If you catch the Jags sleeping, big division road win here for the Titans. And so they're out to a 2-1 start despite a banged up Marcus Mariota. So the Titans have to be happy with where they're at right now. This was a good game. The 49ers the 49ers at the Chiefs. Chiefs stay hot. Big win in Arrowhead. It's tough to win anytime in Arrowhead. The Chiefs get the win 38-27 over the Niners. Patrick Mahomes stays hot. 24 of 38. 314 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo for the Niners goes 20 of 30, 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. The bad news here is that Garoppolo is out for the season. Tears his ACL in this game late. Crushing blow to the Niners season as they fall to 1-2. The team is built around Garoppolo, and just an excruciating loss, a huge loss for this team. I don't know how you replace him. Some options I've heard floated are Colin Kaepernick, Jay Cutler, even Tony Romo. Cutler is the most logical explanation. He said that he still wants to play football. There's an opening here. But as of right now, the Niners are going with C.J. Beathard to start Week 4. And I don't see the Niners winning much with C.J. Beathard at quarterback. Some other stats in this game. Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, 8 catches, 114 yards. Niners running back Matt Breida combines for 117 yards. The Niners' leading receiver in this game was tight end George Kittle, 5 catches for 79 yards. And the Chiefs linebacker Justin Houston has himself a day. 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Big game out of him. So the Chiefs stay hot. They're still undefeated, 3-0. Keep it going, Chiefs. They always seem to start hot. If you remember last year, they started out 5-0, and Alex Smith was the leading MVP candidate. Right now, Mahomes seems to be on the same path. 13 touchdowns through 4 games. 13 through 3 this season. And we'll see if the Chiefs can stay hot. You know, I bet they'll come back down to earth at some point here. But maybe it'll be Monday night against the Broncos. But just a big loss for the Niners. I feel for the Niners fans. And hopefully, you know, go get Cutler. Go make it interesting. What are you going to do other than Cutler? I heard they were talking about Tom Savage. You can't stay pat with C.J. Beathard. Those are losses, man. That's not a good look. Go get Kaepernick, get Romo. Make it an interesting storyline. I don't necessarily know that you're going to have success with Cutler, Romo, or Kaepernick, or any of these guys, but I'll tune in if these guys are playing. You know, you'll still get ratings. You'll still be competitive with a guy that you know can sling it. C.J. Beathard cannot sling it, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll shock us all, but I don't believe he will. But if anyone can keep the Niners afloat, it's head coach Kyle Shanahan. He's a bit of a genius. Let's go to Chargers at Rams, where the Rams stay undefeated. Cruise past their neighbor Chargers 35-23 in the Coliseum. Rams quarterback Jared Goff, 29 of 36, 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, 18 of 30, 226 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rams star running back Todd Gurley combines for 156 yards, a touchdown, and a fumble. Chargers running back Melvin Gordon, 15 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. Rams wide receiver Robert Woods, 10 catches, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Nice to see Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams catch 4 for 81 and 2 touchdowns. Good to see him making an impact out there. Chargers fall to 1-2 and will look to get back at 500. Week 4 home game against the 49ers with no Garoppolo. So if C.J. Beathard starts, chalk it up. Go get a W, Chargers. You got to show up, but should be an easy win. Rams improved to 3-0 and will play Thursday night against the Vikings. Huge game, as I said earlier. Cowboys at the Seahawks. Seahawks take care of business at CenturyLink Field. 24-13 win over the Cowboys. Russell Wilson goes 16 of 26, 192 yards and 2 touchdowns, delivering the Seahawks their first win of the year. Cowboys, Dak Prescott goes 19 of 34, 168 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Just when we thought the Cowboys were riding the ship and they could come in here and take advantage of a bad Seahawks team, they struggle, get beat. Didn't look that great on offense. Seahawks running back Chris Carson, 32 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Cowboys running back Zeke Elliott, 16 carries, 127 yards. It's bad when Zeke goes for 127 yards rushing and the Cowboys still have a really bad offense. They got to fix that soon. Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett, 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. And Seahawks veteran safety Earl Thomas has a decent game, a good game. 6 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's still a playmaker out there, and he picks Dak Prescott twice and makes an impact. So good for the Seahawks to get a W on the board. Bad loss for Dallas, even though it was in Seattle. They'll look to bounce back week 4 at home against the Detroit Lions. That should be an interesting game. Cowboys-Lions for sure. My Bears at Arizona at the Cardinals. I thought this was going to be an easier game than it was. I predicted we'd win by, I think I said 20. And I thought, I wanted to see us really take advantage of these Cardinals here. It was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. We steal a victory on the road. Anytime you win on the road, it's good. We win 16-14. We started out tough, man. We were down 14-0. Able to get a field goal going into the half, so we were down 14-3, and then the defense started to make plays in the second half. Mitch Trubisky, the stat line, 24 of 35, 220 yards and 2 turnovers. He struggled in this game. He had a bad fumble in Bears territory. He had some bad missed throws. But like I said, I'm preaching patience here. Trust the process. Mitch Trubisky did not have a good rookie year to learn. He had a bad system, bad coaches to develop. And so I look at it like this is Mitch Trubisky's rookie year. So I'm preaching patience. And I think by week 13, week 14, he'll have it much more figured out than he does now. And we'll be able to trust the offense a lot more than we do at this moment. But we were able to get the win, which is the good news, despite not a great effort from Trubisky. Cardinals quarterback Sam Bradford got the start and went 13 of 19, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 turnovers. He was replaced late with rookie quarterback Josh Rosen makes his appearance for the Cardinals. He went 4 of 7 for 36 yards and a pick. It was a tough spot for Josh Rosen to come in. I don't know why you'd bring him in there, especially against the Bears pass rushers. But he did okay. A late interception, but all things considered, I thought Josh Rosen looked alright. I'm just glad he didn't go do a game-winning drive or anything like that. Our defense stood strong. And I expect Josh Rosen to be the starter going forward for Arizona. Bears running back Jordan Howard combines for 81 yards and a touchdown. I say feed him. Continue to feed Howard and Cohen. We have a good running game, and there's no reason to put Trubisky in awkward spots with that running game. Cardinals star running back David Johnson combines for 61 yards and a touchdown. The Bears' leading receiver was their tight end Trey Burton, 4 catches for 55 yards. Cardinals' Christian Kirk catches 7 for 90 yards. And another big game. Every game since we traded for him, Khalil Mack's been the difference maker. 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. I saw him getting triple covered at one point in this game and still getting to the quarterback. Dude is a monster, and he's a great fit for the Monsters of the Midway. Can't emphasize enough how great Khalil Mack's impact has been. I think if we didn't get Mack, we would be at best 1-2, if not 0-3 right now. And that he's a difference maker. And thank you Gruden once again for delivering us Khalil Mack. Worth the price, worth what we gave up to get him, and definitely worth the money. Let's go to Sunday night, and a bit of a shocker here. Definitely a shocker. I thought the Patriots were taking this one all day. The Lions get a home win. They defend their den in Ford Field, defeating the Patriots 26-10. The Lions improve to 1-2, and the Patriots fall to 1-2. Stafford throws 27 of 36 for 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, 14 of 26 yards, 14 of 26 for 133 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Lions rookie, I think this is a big key to why the Lions got the win. Rookie running back Kerryon Johnson, who I've been telling you guys about him ever since the Lions drafted him. Solid running back out of Auburn. Goes 16 carries for 101 yards. Finally giving the Lions a 100-yard rusher for the first time since Reggie Bush did it on Thanksgiving in 2013. Lions have to be happy to get that monkey off their back, get a 100-yard rusher, and wouldn't you know it, the Lions go for a 100-yard rusher, and they get a W. I was saying it last week, you got to find a way to rush the ball. I was saying maybe trade for Le'Veon Bell, but if you can get this type of performance out of Kerryon Johnson, there you go. That helps a lot. Leading receiver for the Patriots was tight end Rob Gronkowski, 4 catches for 51 yards. Lions, Marvin Jones, 4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Lions linebacker Eli Harold, 3 tackles and 2 sacks. And the Patriots will look to end their 2-game losing streak in Week 4 with a game against the Dolphins in Foxborough. So the 3-0 Dolphins coming into town. It doesn't get any easier for New England, but I do look for them to take care of business. And I mean, if the Patriots go on a 3-game losing streak, you know something's wrong. But they've had consistent success in their division, so I expect them to bounce back and to defeat the Dolphins. Hand the Dolphins their first loss of the year. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go to Monday night, where the Steelers went to Raymond James Stadium and hang on to defeat the Bucs 30-27. They jumped out to a big lead early. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger goes 30 of 38, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Bucs quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick saw a little bit of his Fitzmagic die off. He goes 30 of 50, but hey, he threw for 400 yards, 411 yards, 3 touchdowns, but it was the interceptions that got him. He threw a pick 6 in there as well. 3 interceptions for Fitzpatrick. And it's the turnovers will kill you. You know, they still put up 27, but 3 turnovers, and they couldn't quite get the win. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster catches 9 for 116 yards. Bucs star wide receiver Mike Evans, 6 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. And Bucs defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul is in Tampa Bay. He's really helping out. 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. So a tough loss for Tampa Bay, their first loss of the year. And I think that they got to make a decision going into Week 4 with Jameis Winston's back now. But I fully expect them to stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, yeah, a couple interceptions, but 400 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Stick with the hot hand. And at Bears, I mean, our defense is going to be coming after him. Our pass rush has got to get to Ryan Fitzpatrick because those weapons are for real. He's got Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard at tight end, Peyton Barber at running back. He's got weapons that can torch a defense. Even Godwin at wide receiver. And so you can't give him time. Mack and Roquan and Trevathan have to be on their game. Akeem Hicks, they got to get pressure on the quarterback. And if we can do that, I think we'll put up enough points to get the W. I want to see a pick 6. I want to see the secondary getting involved. Good to see Eddie Jackson this week getting a pick. And Amukamara as well. So our defense has to be on their game to beat the Bucs. It's going to be a tough game. Steelers, big win for them in this one, improving to 1-1-1, and they needed that win. And so it was nice to see them get the job done. Let's do some predictions for Week 4 here. Thursday night, like I said, Vikings at Rams, big game, 1-1-1 Vikings at the 3-0 Rams. This is a big game for Minnesota, and I'm picking the Vikings. It's a road game at the Coliseum, but I think the Vikings will show up after they'll be motivated after a really bad performance this week against the Bills. So I fully expect them to bounce back. Kirk Cousins to have a good game, and the Vikings defense to play better, and the Vikings to show up and get a win on Thursday night at the Rams. I mean, if not, then you got the 4-0 Rams, and the Vikings will fall further down in the division. Now, I picked the Vikings to win the division going into the year, and so this is a game they need to win in order to get that done. In order to keep the momentum towards winning a division. So I got the Vikings with a road win against the Rams. That's a pretty ballsy pick on my part, but I think the Vikings will get that one done. They need to contain Todd Gurley, be a big part of it, and not turn the ball over against that nasty defense. Let's go to Sunday, where I just talked about it. The Bucks at the Bears. 2-1 Bucks at the 2-1 Bears. Tough game. I'm going to be pumped for this game. But we got to get the job done. It's nice to see Fitzpatrick kind of come back down to earth with the turnovers on Monday night, and we got to keep that up. We have to force turnovers in order to win this game. Got to get pressure on Fitzpatrick. I'd like to see a couple forced fumbles on him and a couple interceptions. I would be happy with 4 turnovers out of Fitzpatrick. I want 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions. And then if we beat the Bucks, that'll really stir out the pot with maybe Jameis Winston coming back. But for the Bears, I'm looking at it purely from a Chicago Bears fan standpoint. Huge game at home in front of the home fans, and if we can find a way to get this W, we'll be 3-1 going into our bye week. And we're first place in the NFC North right now. I want to keep that up. I want to keep the momentum. Come on, Bears, deliver. Let's get to 3-1 and go into the bye. So I got the Bears in a tough, hard-fought game, finding a way to beat the Bucks. Also on Sunday, the Lions at the Cowboys. 1-2 Lions at the 1-2 Cowboys. Another big game. This one, the Lions, they finally get a win against New England, and they'll look to carry that in at Dallas and Jerry World. Cowboys have looked bad, looked bad on Sunday, and so they'll look to bounce back against Detroit. I'm taking Cowboys here just because I want to see the Lions lose in the division. I don't want them, I want my division opponents to lose. I want the Cowboys to bounce back, or they should bounce back. Dak Prescott needs to have a game. I don't expect the Lions to have another 100-yard rusher here. The Cowboys have a good line, so they should get some pressure on Matthew Stafford. And I expect a big game out of Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys here. So I got the Cowboys beating the Lions in Dallas and Jerry World. Eagles, 2-1 Eagles at the 2-1 Titans. This is just a good game. I'd love to watch this one. I've got the Eagles finding a way to get the job done here against a banged-up Marcus Mariota. So Eagles find a way. Carson Wentz, second game back, feeling more comfortable in the system. I got the Eagles with a road win against the Titans. 0-3 Texans at the 1-2 Colts. I'm actually going to this game on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. Never seen Deshaun Watson live before, so I'm really looking forward to watching Deshaun Watson, seeing J.J. Watt live, seeing Jadeveon Clowney, Tyrann Mathieu, DeAndre Hopkins, Andrew Luck as well. Andrew Luck is awesome. So Texans at Colts. I am picking the Texans. I've been picking the Texans all year long, and they're winless. And now is the time. Sunday at Indy at Lucas Oil Field. Deshaun Watson, step your game up, deliver a big win in the division. If you lose this game and fall to 0-4, it's not looking good for the rest of the season. So if you're ever gonna turn it around, it's right now. I'll be wearing my Deshaun Watson Clemson jersey at the game, and hopefully the Texans and Watson can deliver a W. As I mentioned earlier, the 3-0 Dolphins, undefeated Dolphins, go into Foxborough to take on Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the 1-2 Patriots. It's very rare that the Patriots are sitting at under 500, and I fully expect the Patriots to get a win here, get back to 500, hand the Dolphins their first loss of the year. It's a big division game, and the Patriots know it. They know they need these wins. And Patriots very rarely lose 3 in a row, and I expect them to get the job done at Foxborough. The 1-1-1 Browns at the 0-3 Raiders. I'm talking about this game because I'm picking this game because the Raiders are winless, desperate for a W, and the Browns are fresh, coming off a victory, looking for a winning streak, with probably the rookie Baker Mayfield starting this game. So this has storylines all over it. I got the Raiders getting their first win of the year against the Browns. Baker Mayfield should start, and I think he'll come back down to earth a little bit. Although the Raiders don't have a pass rush, so he should have some time. I think it'll be a good, hard-fought game, and I have the Raiders finding a way to pull this one out, get their first win of the year. The Saints, 2-1 Saints at the 1-2 Giants is a good game. Can the Giants get a winning streak going? I'm picking the Giants here. That's not going to be a common pick. I know a lot of people are going Saints here, and it's tough for me to pick against the Saints, but I'm hoping that the Giants have turned a new leaf, that Eli can put together consecutive good performances, and that Saquon Barkley can continue to lead the team. Odell Beckham Jr. can keep doing his thing. So I'm hoping here, I'm picking the Giants because of my heart, not my head. And I'm saying, come on Giants, I picked you to go to the playoffs as a wild card. If you're going to do that, you can't start the year 1-3. You got to get to 2-2, get some momentum, get a winning streak. So go Blue, go Giants here on Sunday at home against the Saints. Sunday night is a hell of a matchup. AFC North battle, Baltimore Ravens, 2-1 Ravens at the 1-1 Steelers. It's always a great battle when you got Ravens Steelers. Sunday Night Football prime time. Can't wait for this game. I'm picking the Steelers at home to get a winning streak going. Flacco is inconsistent. He seems to have a good game then a bad game. Good game then a bad game. Bad game then a good game. And so he had a good game last week, and I expect the Ravens to come back down to earth a little bit. Steelers get the home win here on Sunday night against the division-hated rival Ravens. Monday night, another great game. Division rival opponent, Chiefs, undefeated 3-0 Chiefs with a red-hot Patrick Mahomes at Mile High at the 2-1 Broncos. Broncos coming off a loss. I've got the Broncos here. I'm not sold on the Broncos as a team this year, but primetime, big division game at home. The Broncos always play the Chiefs tough. I think the defense will come to play. Maybe they'll get some pressure on Mahomes. That's the only way they're going to win, is if Bradley Chubb and Von Miller are getting to the quarterback. Brandon Marshall as well. And so I got the Broncos somehow pulling this off, cooling the Chiefs down a little bit. Patrick Mahomes needs to come back down to earth a little bit. So I got the Broncos with a big home division game win on Monday Night Football. Can't wait. It should be a hell of a week 4. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We should have some interviews coming up within either next week, here soon. We should have some interviews, and we got some pretty big names on deck, so stay tuned. I'm excited for what the future holds here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Thanks so much for the support, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. And I'm looking to have some more guests, some more of my friends on the show. So if you guys want to come on and talk some football, don't be afraid to hit me up and ask to come on. And I'm looking forward to what the future holds. So thanks, guys, and we'll be back next week. Peace out.